Welcome to the 13-kilometer or 8.1-mile Harbor Loop Trail, located in Copenhagen, Denmark, encircling the city's canals that lie next to the Baltic Sea. Copenhagen is widely considered one of the bicycling capitals of the world and a bucket list item for many bicycle enthusiasts, including myself. The city has invested heavily in cycling infrastructure, making it a convenient and safe mode of transportation for both locals and tourists. There are extensive networks of dedicated bike lanes, bike bridges, and even cycling superhighways to explore. Cycling is not just a mode of transportation here, it is a way of life. In fact, bicycles outnumber cars by 5 to 1 in the city. A significant portion of the city's population commute to work and school by bike, and cycling is deeply ingrained in the city's culture. Our adventure began with a train ride from Germany, which was comfortable, quick, and fairly easy to navigate. Flights in and out of Copenhagen are likewise fairly easy to navigate, and the airport is right next to the heart of the city. We used Booking.com to find the perfect apartment near the metro with a nice rooftop balcony and a lot of excellent food choices nearby. Rental equipment in Copenhagen is easily accessible and ranges from bikes to boats. We opted to rent from Lime for my electric scooter and the Donkey Republic for the traditional pedal bicycles for the rest of our group. We then downloaded the Harbor Loop route, also referred to as the Harbor Round, into our phone from a local guide who rides the loop and has posted the GPX file for free on his website. After a final check to make sure we had the coordinates correct, it was time to lift a foot and get rolling. You'll find very unique architecture all along the loop, including cactus towers, which are very eye-catching. Each apartment twists and turns with balconies that were inspired to look like the spines of a cactus. The towers house nearly 500 micro-living units, designed primarily for singles and young couples, making them convenient, functional, and stylish homes to several hundred residents in the heart of Copenhagen. Everywhere you look, it is evident that bicycling is an important part of this community. Even the mall has a full-on bicycle garage, which I've never seen before. Cykelslong, or the bicycle snake in English, is one of Copenhagen's most iconic pieces of cycling infrastructure. Opened in 2014, this elevated orange bike lane elegantly snakes its way above the harborfront, connecting cyclists from Vesterbro to Harbor Bridge without having to navigate stairs or pedestrian traffic. It stretches about 230 meters, or about 750 feet, and was designed specifically to make bike commuting faster, safer, and just a bit more fun, which it absolutely does. At the Buga Bridge, we decided to ride the loop counterclockwise. There's no right or wrong way to go, but since riding on the right side of the path is required, your perspective will change depending on the direction you choose. As we bike past the houseboats here in Copenhagen's harbor, it's easy to see how deeply connected the city is to the water. The houseboats in the harbor range from modern architect-designed masterpieces to old barges and fishing vessels that have been converted to full-time homes. There are various art installations all along the harbor route. This is a fun one. It's a bronze family sculpture frozen mid-walk, all wearing real sneakers. It's called The Family by Dennis Smith, and it captures everyday life right here on the harbor. As we continue around the Harbor Loop, we come across an impressive building with a distinctive red brick facade, tall arched windows, and exposed steel framing. This is Dieselhouse, once part of the H.C. Ørsted power station, a cornerstone of Copenhagen's energy supply for much of the last century. Originally powered by coal, the plant was converted to natural gas in 1994, reflecting the city's shift towards cleaner energy. Copenhagen has transformed its once industrial harbor into swimmable, safe, and inviting spaces. Both locals and tourists love it, especially in the summer, when you'll see people diving in straight from the edge or gathering in designated harbor baths. Water quality is tested daily, and thanks to decades of environmental investment, is often cleaner than some inland lakes. A creative practice to keep things clean that we saw while riding the loop was that you can actually borrow a free kayak in exchange for collecting trash along the harbor. Approaching the southern end of the loop, you'll first pass a futuristic apartment building and another very popular public swimming area. Built in 2008, this unique apartment building was built on a man-made peninsula with the appearance inspired by the massive cruise ships that visit the harbor. Right next to the apartments is Sluiseholmen Harbor Bath, which is a great spot for a swim if you're up for it. They've got bathrooms and changing rooms, so it's super easy to jump in. Then, just as you turn the corner, the vibe totally shifts. You'll see these quaint red fishing houses that look right from a postcard. Just past the red houses, there's a narrow pedestrian bridge where people are usually fishing, so it's a good idea to hop off your bike and walk across if it's crowded. Once you're on the other side, definitely stop at Café Slusen. It's super chill with lots of outdoor seating and a great place to grab a drink and just watch the boats cruise by. After Café Slusen, the trail meanders around to an intersection with multiple connecting trails. The Loop Trail, or also called the 101, turns north from here, staying close to the harbor. The surface changes from pavement to a dirt path at this point, but it is well traveled and very packed down. It makes it easy to navigate even on a city bike. This stretch runs through a very well established nature park with a quiet green space where the city feels farther away even though it's just right across the harbor. The park has several picnic areas, bathrooms, and a water station, making it a great place to stop and take a moment just to walk down to the water's edge. As you continue along this section of the Harbor Loop, keep an eye out for the posted maps along the trail that show a network of hiking routes that branch off to the east. Most of the trails can also be ridden by bike and wind through open natural areas and past unique artsy houses. It's a fun detour off the path to explore if you have the time. From here, the trail rejoins the water, and there is a long stretch of cobblestones, which adds a bit of adventure to the ride. If you've never biked on cobblestones before, it's definitely a bumpy experience. But you do have the option to balance on the narrow concrete strips running down the center of the path. They were much smoother and made the ride a lot easier. This much more residential stretch gives you a real sense of everyday life in the city. You're surrounded by apartment buildings, local grocery stores, and small neighborhood cafes, where you'll often see people grabbing a coffee or doing a quick shopping errand. As we ride along the northeastern portion of the Harbor Loop Trail, we pass Isla Buga, a waterfront park and neighborhood that stretches just under a mile. While the beach area does attract tourists, especially in the summertime, it remains mostly a neighborhood hangout where the locals enjoy spending their free time. As we pass by the Lilla Langebro Bridge, it's worth noting that if you need to cut the loop short, this pedestrian and bike-only bridge is a great spot to cross back over to the west side of the harbor. Continuing north, the trail runs alongside striking modern and historic architecture with sweeping views across the wide-open harbor. One of the most eye-catching landmarks just past the bridge is a building nicknamed the Black Diamond, which is a dramatic extension to Denmark's Royal Library. Completed in 1999, the building gets its nickname from its sleek black granite and glass facade, which reflects the harbor and sky throughout the day. Right across from the Black Diamond is Cirkelbroen, or the Circle Bridge. This amazing pedestrian and bicycle bridge was opened in 2015 and connects one of the main canals to the harbor. It is approximately 40 meters or 130 feet long and features 5 circular platforms, each with a tall central mast resembling a sail, paying tribute to Copenhagen's maritime heritage. While fully functional with a lateral opening mechanism to allow the boat traffic to pass, the design encourages people to pause and take in the view. Passing under Knaspel Bro, we ride beneath one of Copenhagen's classic bascule bridges, a type of movable bridge that pivots upward like a seesaw to let boats pass. In front of the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the trail passes by a replica sculpture titled Freedom. The man blowing a conch shell was a gift from the Virgin Islands and represents one of Denmark's official memorials to their colonial slave era. Christianshavn is the northeasternmost point of the Harbor Loop Trail before it crosses back over to the west side. A highlight in this area is Broen's Street Food, a lively outdoor market with a rotating selection of food trucks and stalls, serving everything from gourmet burgers to duck fries. Next up, the Inner Harbor Bridge. This is a major thoroughfare for both locals and tourists. The bridge leads to Nyhavn, the most northwestern point of the Harbor Loop Trail, and one of the most popular picture spots in Copenhagen. Often nicknamed the Kissing Bridge, it gets its name from the way the two sides slide toward each other and meet in the middle when closing after a boat has passed. Opened in 2016, the bridge is exclusively for pedestrians and cyclists, helping to streamline traffic across this busy part of the harbor. The historic Canal of Nyhavn was originally a 17th century commercial harbor and is now a popular starting point for canal tours. The area is also lined with souvenir shops, ice cream stands, and historic townhouses, some dating back to over 300 years. From here, if you're up for adding on the scenic 3-kilometer or about 2-mile Little Mermaid extension, head north on the Nyhavn Bridge on a route packed with iconic landmarks. First, you'll pass Frederickskirke, also known as the Marble Church, famous for its massive green dome. The Lutheran church is still an active parish, and when you look up inside the dome, you'll see a ring of beautifully detailed paintings depicting the 12 apostles set against a deep blue background. Next to the church is Amalienborg Palace, home to the Danish royal family, where you might catch the changing of the guard ceremony, which takes place daily at noon. Across from the palace is Haven, a very peaceful waterfront park featuring a central fountain and symmetrical gardens, which is a perfect picture spot. Continuing north along the harbor, you'll reach Kastellet, a star-shaped 17th century military fortress that today feels more like a peaceful park. On the outskirts of Kastellet is St. Albans Church, which stands out with its unique English Gothic design. Next to the church is Gefjon Fountain, depicting the Norse goddess and the story of her legendary plowing of Zealand into existence. Finally, you'll arrive at the iconic Little Mermaid statue, a symbol of Copenhagen since 1913. The bronze sculpture is relatively small at 4 feet and was inspired by Denmark's own Hans Christian Andersen's classic fairy tale. After connecting with your inner mermaid and snapping a photo, head back to Nyhavn, completing this picturesque extension to the Harbor Loop Trail. Arriving back, we rejoin the path to finish the last couple of miles along the west side of the harbor. Just past Newhan, the trail leads to Haggade Prominade. This is an energetic and fun area for both locals and tourists. It's lined with access points for canal tours, kayak rentals, and harbor swimming. As with the rest of the Harbor Loop Trail, this part of the route is flat and easy to ride, and near the end of this stretch, you'll pass a series of sidewalk trampolines, which is a playful addition that's become a favorite for visitors of all ages. As you ride along this section of trail, the bold glass and steel structure of blocks comes into view, an eye-catching building that seems to just float above the bike trail. Its stacked geometric designs stand out in contrast to the historic buildings around it, making it one of Copenhagen's most distinctive modern landmarks. The Harbor Loop Trail actually passes underneath part of the building, giving you a close-up view of its architecture. And if you look to the side as you pass under, you'll spot a 130-foot slide, which is an art installation hinting of the creativity housed within. Next along the trail is Calvable Wave, the final major landmark before the trail returns to our starting point of the Bicycle Snake Bridge. The wave-shaped wooden pier stretches over 1,000 feet, is supported by 284 stilts, and offers a vibrant mix of open-air activities. Designed for both relaxation and recreation, it features dedicated lanes for swimming, sunny lounging spots, and slides that drop directly into the harbor. There are also kayak rentals here, making it easy to get out and explore the water firsthand. As with many public swimming areas in Copenhagen, swimsuits are optional, as non-sexual nudity is legal and culturally accepted in designated bathing zones. Riding in Copenhagen can feel a bit intimidating at first, especially if you're not from the area, but the Harbor Loop Trail is well marked and thoughtfully designed, making it easy to follow with a GPS. Bicycle riders generally get priority over cars, and the cycling culture here is incredibly welcoming. So even if you make a mistake like riding on the wrong side of the path, forgetting a hand signal, or using the wrong one, people are generally understanding. It's a great place to explore by bike, no matter what your experience level is. As we arrive back at our starting point of Skyline, we hope this video gave you a glimpse of just how accessible and welcoming biking in Copenhagen can be. Thanks for joining us on the ride, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected to more great trails.